Shalom, Renicorns. Hey, it's Ellie here. All right, you guys. So, we're gonna. If you saw the last virtual business meeting where we were talking about how aliens are found in the ocean, this is expounding upon that in a literal sense. Because a lot of people are like, are the aliens gonna help me pay my bills in a sarcastic way? But yes, that's the thing, and that's what's not being said because they can't tell you that in a literal sense, but I can tell you that because I have the information I already have been sharing with my platforms for over a year now that the Marine Kingdom is doing its best to communicate with us. And I'll get into the information in 1 second, and I just want to preface and say that we will be going through a lot today with a lot of different sources, okay? So here's a map. This is the corporate states of America, and this is sourced from Steve Lovelace. Okay, 2 viewers and 2 likes. Appreciate y'all coming in quick. Much gratitude to the Renicorns. So like I said, the website is steve-lovelace.com, steve-lovelace.com, where you can find this map. And this guide here is the nationality study guide. So we have been studying from this particular study guide. You can get it from my husband's ministry. So all that information is in the description box. You can find him, you can connect with him, especially if you're a masculine. If you're a lady, I do have opportunities for us specifically. You can join our club as well if you would like to. I am also adding ladies to the writing team for my private equity and research firm. So all this coincides and goes together as to what the heck are these ocean aliens doing and why is it important? Why is the government confirming it now, November 2024? So those are all the corporations that either have a headquarters, where they're really popular, where they were founded. Those states is where they're highlighted. So right to a nationality and statelessness. And this is the tribes of an Indian nation. So you won't be able to see all the details, but I'm just going to show you the map of the United States with the Indian tribes, or how we know it, the Native American tribes. So if anyone's curious as to why our headquarters for Marine Liquidity Fiduciary Flow, again, Marine, private equity and research, is based in Mississippi, that is because my bloodline is Choctaw. So by me headquartering what it is we are doing to connect with the seas, which is next to the Gulf of Mexico, I have to go back to my original bloodline area in order to unlock those particular portals. The right to a nationality. The right to a nationality is a fundamental human right. It implies the right of each individual to acquire, change, and retain a nationality. International human rights law provides that the right of states to decide who their nationals are is not absolute, and in particular, states must comply with their human rights obligations concerning the granting and loss of nationality. So, do I go on my documents and say Choctaw? No, the only options is Native American, where we're not even American. We are indigenous, we're aboriginal, we are the original of the land. So the entire purpose of curating our space, how we're doing it currently now, is to correct all of that. So of course, intentionally doing it individually with resources like this, and at the same time making that widespread so that our people will benefit generally, of course, is to help the entire country, starting with us. Because until all of our people are conscious of this information and aware of how to do it full through, rather than someone hinting it here and hinting it there, until everyone is fully capable of doing these things, and there are more services helping people like our ministry to help people do these things, then all the issues that everyone's facing are going to continue and or get worse, as we can see. Arbitrary deprivation of nationality. The right to retain a nationality corresponds to the prohibition of arbitrary deprivation of nationality. Arbitrary deprivation of nationality, therefore, effectively places the affected persons in a more devastated situation concerning the enjoyment of their human rights, because some of these rights may be subjected to lawful limitations that otherwise would not apply, but also because these persons are placed in a situation of increased vulnerability to human rights violations. What did I just say? I did not read this. I'm reading this for the first time with you guys. This is a study guide. I've studied this guide with you guys, and I do what it see that's like I'm tuned in. Okay, that's all I got to say. I just said that. Until we know, everybody else gonna suffer too with us. International legal framework. The right to a nationality is recognized in a series of international legal instruments, including the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the International Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, the Convention on the Rights of the Child, the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women, the Convention on the Nationality of Married Women, the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and the International Convention on the Protection of the Rights of All Migrant Workers and Members of Their Families. The issue of nationality is also regulated in the Convention on the Reduction of Statelessness, the Convention relating to the the Convention of relating to the status of stateless persons, and Convention relating to the status of refugees. So it just went into further detail on the absolute names of the stuff that was just described, what I was essentially channeling from this document that I didn't read before. Then it read the actual issue, and then essentially the legal framework, what it is, those terms, all that I just read. You can look these things up. You can do your own research, whatever pertains to you. So something specific, right? These, I'll name these right here. The Conventions on the Rights of the Child, the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women, the Convention on the Nationality of Married Women, the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and the International Convention on the Protection of the Rights of All Migrant Workers and Members of their Families. So those things in particular and specifically can be looked up and applied to the specific individual that this pertains to. So you'll be able to get all the information that you need in order to better your life, which will better the lives of everyone else. When you know what you know for yourself, you're able to be in a better position for yourself in order to be in a better position to help others. An explicit and general prohibition of arbitrary deprivation of nationality can be found in numerous international instruments. In particular, it is worth noting that Article 15 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights explicitly provides that no one should be arbitrarily deprived of his or her nationality. The General Assembly, in its Resolution 50/152, also recognized the fundamental nature of the prohibition of arbitrary deprivation. All the big words, bruh. The fundamental nature of the prohibition of arbitrary deprivation of nationality. Statelessness. The 1950 Convention relating to the status of stateless persons defines stateless person as, is that one half a person? Is that half a person? It looks like half a person who is not considered as a national by any state under the operation of its law. I'll read it directly to you. It's like a, man, I don't know what this is. Y'all look at it and make whatever you will out of it, because I don't know what to call this. I'm just gonna call it half a person. All that right there. I don't know what the heck this is. So I just say half a person. Upside down question mark with a half and an I before it with I don't know what that is. Okay. So something of a person. Let me look it up. Let me look it up before I continue, because like I've never seen that before. Can I highlight it? I don't know how I would type that in. Anyway, let me read. Let me just go ahead and read, because it's not letting me highlight it to look it up. Um, the exact number of stateless people is not known, but UNCHR estimates that there are at least 10 million globally. We know it's more than that. In addition to violations of their right to a nationality, stateless persons are subject to several other human rights violations. States shall introduce safeguards to prevent statelessness by granting their nationality to persons who would otherwise be stateless and are either born in their territory or are born abroad to one of their nationals. States shall also prevent statelessness upon loss or deprivation of nationality. All right, so let's talk about this a bit, because it's like, okay, cool, what does this have to do with water? What does this have to do with aliens? What does this have to do with the ocean? So a lot of nations are separated by water. Whether we're talking about seas, we're talking about oceans, we're talking about rivers, streams, lakes, large bodies of water. Think about the Great Lakes in the northern part of the United States. It separates areas in Canada. It separates states from each other. Okay? So when you look at the way that water is used for territory, that takes it back to what we were studying in the previous streams that are found in the description box about maritime admiralty law, where everything is governed by maritime law, which is the waters and the seas. The aliens in the ocean run the world. Oh my gosh, she's a conspiracy theorist. Probably, but I've been saying this for the longest time, and I found the information to back up my claims, and now the government confirmed that there's aliens in the ocean. So I'd much rather at this point listen to a conspiracy theorist than try to listen to the information, because weren't we told a whole lot that aliens weren't real? And now every year since 2020, new articles come out about aliens being real, and now they're being specified. I made a video in 2021 about the movie Luca, and it was talking about the way that mermaids are able to integrate themselves into people life. They use Italy as an example. And then the new Little Mermaid came out with Halle Bailey, where she was a goddess rather than a human being hybrid. So she was a black woman mermaid versus being a white woman mermaid, as we saw in the original cartoon. It's been a gradual build up to telling everyone we no longer have control over this reality, even though we're doing the best to maintain our control. And unless we tell the truth, we no longer have control. So by exposing this information and eliciting certain responses, because at first I found it interesting and weird that essentially the higher ups were not too concerned about the fact that people weren't reacting to them announcing that aliens exist. And it's kind of like, okay, what type of response were they expecting? I guess this is exactly what they expected. So now they can't, like, nobody could say, like, oh, well, you didn't tell us that this was going to happen and all this. It's like, well, no, we told you, and you guys decided to react and just be concerned about the bills you pay every day instead of actually doing something about it. And it's like, well, what was anyone supposed to do? Everybody's supposed to tap in spiritually to be able to communicate with these beings. I have been sharing that message, like I said, repeatedly over a couple of years now on my platforms. Not many people talk about it, and it's one of those things where it's like, it's nothing. I'll just tread lightly when I say this, because I know those who are water signs or water based, tend to take things a little differently. I am a earth fire sign cusp, so I communicate a certain type of way. I am Gemini second and third house, so it's like I just speak how it is. Those who are associated with the water the most were feeling these things without communicating them. So those who are either water sun signs or they're daughters of Yemoja, Olokun, sons of whether it's Oshun or any water deity. I started connecting with Awa a lot. She's quieter. And if you go back to the movie Avatar, the goddess, the tree goddess, and then the goddess that holds all the souls and the passed on souls, and then the new living souls that people are able to connect with, or the avatars are able to connect with, her name's Awa. So the Great Mother is Awa. In the second Avatar movie, they were underwater, and they still had access to Awa under the water. We were constantly being told what's going on, however, through media. Instead of a scientist and someone who looks the part to be able to express these things to the public straight out saying, hey, this is what's happening right now. It was shown through media, and now people have to put the puzzles together, and you have to deal with the fact that, well, most people have to deal with the fact that it's going to contradict a lot of beliefs that they had previously, because we were told that these things were either evil or didn't exist. You know what's evil and what does exist? The fact that a bunch of paperwork was put into place and policy to make you think that certain things did not exist. That's evil. So while an individual thinks that they can plug into the matrix and live the life that they want to live, they're constantly being programmed. Even those who are woke are being programmed. A lot of the woke people are programmed out of their currency. They're programmed out of their commerce. And a lot of people who focus on commerce and currency, they're programmed out of their spirituality. Those who have a good balance of knowing what's happening in multiple dimensions and what's happening in their finances, they have the advantage of life, knowing what it is to leave the matrix. So by leaving the matrix, an individual is able to maneuver through multiple dimensions while still maintaining themselves in the earth plane. And that's where a lot of people need help. So when we say things like, hey, join this, or, you need to buy my program. Yeah, I get it. How some people are. At the end of the day, reading these types of resources and watching certain videos from certain people is what's going to provide the clarity that's necessary. It's going to answer the questions that a lot of people have. So being honest and forthright with you all, I'll let you know this is new to me, and I'm on my studying journey with y'all when it comes to stuff like this. Whereas when it comes to my spiritual walk, I could just say stuff to you. I can just say whatever I can, whether I'm channeling or it's a prophetic word. Who calling me? You interrupting. It's one of them entities, because it's not even anybody in my contacts. It's a spam call. Interruption, that's all. Whether I'm doing tarot cards, like we just had the confirmation, really big confirmation too. It wasn't that I didn't think it was significant talking about the election. I know that's a worldwide event, so I know that that is significant. However, I didn't find it all that significant that we were doing the tarot reading to get that type of confirmation. So where now the FBI is investigating something. It's always the FBI with this channel, isn't it? It's always some sort of large situation. As soon as we touch on something, it's something. The FBI and the CIA is involved. Like, of course it is. Of course it is. We start talking about aliens in the ocean and how the ocean's actually space, and now all of a sudden they want to confirm that there's aliens in the ocean and that the entities that we like, People haven't put together the fact that this alien invasion situation is not an invasion. What has happened as technology has evolved and people have evolved, they devolved in a lot of ways to becoming a harm and a nuisance to Mother Gaia. So by becoming a nuisance to Mother Gaia, that's affecting the aliens in the ocean. Now the aliens are going to attack and invade because there's lack of harmony here on the surface. So, if you're in balance and you're doing what you can for the surface, which affects the waters, which affects the aliens and the marine kingdom, then you're fine. That's your hedge of protection. That's your salvation. Taking care of the planet is salvation. Where religion gets people in this mindset, well, certain religions get people in this mindset of thinking that performing certain tasks that have nothing to do with the planet at all, that's their salvation. Saying certain things is their salvation. Believing certain things is their salvation. So let's continue and read this part. The right to a nationality and the Human Rights Council. The Human Rights Council has addressed the enjoyment of the right to a nationality and the avoidance of statelessness in several resolutions on half human rights and arbitrary deprivation of nationality. Work on the right to a nationality and on statelessness. So it's certain things that you can look up. You have resolution 7-7/10 2008, resolution 10/13 2009, resolution 13/2 2010, resolution 20/4 on the right to a nationality, women and children 2012, resolution 20/5 2012, resolution 26/14 2014. Okay, so work on the right to a nationality and on statelessness. The people of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family, bearing one free national name or title. Those who fail to recognize the free national name or title of their constitutional government are classified as undesirable and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the people care to bestow upon them. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and principles that deludes to slavery. And that is from Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Derek Cullum said, greetings, reflections, sending positive energy. Always want the best for you and all who authentically support you. Have a great day and rest of the week. Much gratitude. Happy Moon Day, Derek, and you as well. The Moors are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. So here we go with the shores, specifically on the shorelines by the seas of Africa. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go into all this too much because this is like a whole other part that we're going to address either in another video or not at all. Okay, but here's a picture of, you know, a different type of ID, an enhanced tribal card. Ooh, we got 4 viewers and 4 likes. Gratitude, y'all. Okay, it says important information. Name correction, proclamation, and judicial notice. Before choosing your free national name, it is important to make a few points to make your selection and sealing of your paperwork and receipt of your nationality cards a seamless operation. Do not select a title such as king, queen, prince, empress, emperor, etc. as part of your free national name. This is called a pre-title, and there are no pre-titles in a free national name appellation. For example, King Baylor Rahim Bey may be what you call yourself, but your actual paperwork should say Baylor Rahim Bey. Okay? So that reminds me of how the Nation of Islam would choose X as their last name. So Malcolm X, and a lot of people who would put X versus their government names that they were born with. All right. So yeah, that's a lot. So that's why I said in the beginning, like, we're going to be talking about a lot. And for your own personal, meditate with whatever aquatic beings resonate with you. So if that's an animal, right? I have a cowrie shell and pyrite here. Whatever elements resonate with you, whether it's crustaceans, whether it's small fishies with the scales like regular, whether they're aquatic mammals, whales, dolphins, all that, manatees, if you're cool with the sharks, if you're cool with the stingrays and the eels, whatever sort of entities that resonate most with you, I'm a jellyfish. I use fire powers underwater. So whatever entities are able to connect with you in the ways that are necessary to get these things through to you consciously, to where you can actually apply these things to your life, then that's what you need to do. Literally, it's something as simple as you connect with a certain entity, now you have a business logo. And you use that business logo, which is whatever animal or being that may be. I have another cowrie shell right here. It could be shells everywhere on what you're doing. It could be fish scales. It could be mermaids. It could be, I'm a Capricorn, so it could be sea goats somewhere. I do have a song cover, album cover, that's a female she goat. Really, she's a female satyr sea goat. That's going to push through. That's your currency. That's what you need to do to brand yourself. Because branding yourself is owning your name. When you have a brand, that is your name. By using your brand and your name, you are able to create commerce. You're able to create currency. You're able to currently see how you can manifest the things into your life that you desire, that you are manifesting for yourself and those around you. That's why it's multiple streams of income. Everything goes back to water. Everything, including space. Space is just a reflection of water. That's why the sky is blue. How is the sky blue when the sun's yellow? Shouldn't the sky be yellow? No, because it's reflecting off of the ocean floor, off of the ocean surface. It's blue. A whole lot. So, like I said, for the masculines, for all the males, for all the guys, make sure you check the description box so you can join our club, join our ministry, and you'll mostly be talking to my husband when it comes to certain things. And for ladies, you'll mostly be talking to me. I am the secretary, so I will be taking care of things like filings. If you sent in something, I'll be back and forth emailing you. But when it comes to certain questions, you will be talking to the royal minister about that. Not so much me. I'm here to help with paperwork, and we can study together at times. So for ladies, I do want to point to this. So we have read a bit of this book before. This is Build It and They Will Come, a guide to architecting intentional community. So I'm going to read a little bit of this. Let me go back. All right. So essentially, what marine liquidity fiduciary flow private equity and research firm is for ladies, This is our Goddess Council. So we've read the chapter Goddess Council. You can check back on one of the streams. What I may do is put it in the description box of this video as well. It'll be at the very bottom. So you can just scroll straight to the bottom and find that stream, Goddess Council. We talked about what cat originated and how we're correlating it to what it is we are doing. So many of us, we are married, we have children, we have brothers, we have uncles, we have cousins who are males, and we have individuals we work with who are males. So what we have to do as the feminine, as the goddess, is make sure that we have our council together. We have this concept of community, sisterhood, and these group names that is more social. So we have a council, meaning we're on the business that we're talking about. So that is why, as far as entryway, we have here, she has contracts. So I'll read a little bit here, but go back to what I was going to read originally. Contracts. I know now that the most helpful way to uphold the code of ethics you draft for your community is to have all members sign a contract agreeing to the terms upon sign up. This is one of the details I learned a little too late while building my own community. I naively believed that because of the way I spoke about GC, Goddess Council, and how I carried myself as the leader of the community, everyone involved would immediately understand what it stood for. And for 3 years, while our community met exclusively in person, there was no misunderstandings or complications, at least that I was aware of. This track record led me to believe that everyone was on the same page. However, once we shifted to a virtual model that's ecosystem was built exclusively online, the level of miscommunication and boundary crossing increased. Unfortunately, because of this, people got hurt. So that is why we are originating everything online with a very strict code of ethics. In order to be part of the research firm, you have to abide by certain things. It's very simple. At the end of the day, we know how things can get misconstrued amongst individuals. Disagreements do happen. No relationship is perfect. No individual, no being is perfect. We are working towards perfecting ourselves and perfecting our skills. At the end of the day, things happen amongst separate individual vessels. It's about decreasing the feeling of separation to create unity. So that's what we are doing in our Goddess Council. Who are we? Goddess Council is a wellness community and sisterhood curating intimate gatherings virtually. I'll say IRL and virtually at the same time. Virtually and IRL in real life, where all women can come together to engage in soul-centered connections, feel joy, and access opportunities to honor the inner goddess within. So, as I stated, that's more of a social space of individuals can help each other for sure, whether professionally or in whatever sort of supportive way. What we are doing in our research firm is based on what it is we do professionally. So how individuals can collaborate with each other for the purpose of making a profit, how individuals can reach out to different communities, specifically nonprofits or organizations that are there to help people. We are making a profit from doing that simultaneously. So, for example, if you were to reach out to Sunday school teachers in order to share with them a certain perspective that you may have on religion, they may do something with their congregation to be able to build up the funding to do whatever it is you requested, whether that's an event, whether they buy one of your essays that you curate within the research firm, whether they are buying real estate property with your foundation. Because here's the whole thing about it. Nonprofits, they have ways of accessing materials and resources that for-profits don't. So that's branding, that's claiming a name. So with the government, they are able to maneuver in different ways that for-profits are not able to. So if you curate an idea to assist them in a certain type of way, with them being a nonprofit, you profit from assisting the nonprofit. That's what this is about. It's not a club for the sake of having people around you who kind of think like you and it's fun to talk to them. That comes with it. At the end of the day, what purpose are you serving and what community is it that you are reaching with our help, with our assistance? Who should join? Now, I'll read this because it makes sense. However, there's, other things going on within our research firm. You should consider joining Goddess Council if quarantine has inspired you to seek and be part of a soul-aligned community. You are looking to be part of a judgment-free space that will embrace you through the challenges that came along with womanhood and the ups and downs of being a human. You are a woman of color looking for an inclusive community that prioritizes your peace, safety, and wellness. You crave a toxic-free community. No gossip, no racism, xenophobia, hate, no cattiness, no cliques, no bullshit. You're starting off on your spiritual journey and want access to like-minded women who understand living and thinking beyond the superficial. You're seeking opportunities to evolve into the highest version of yourself. You can honor every woman's goddess-like energy and are looking to connect and cultivate from a heart-centered place. You live in a new place and are seeking to connect with like-minded women locally. You are manifesting a new community that will embrace you with sisterhood energy and will remain invested in your long-term well-being. You are looking to add new, fulfilling, and enriching experiences into your life. Okay, so that's the basis of what she was talking about with Goddess Council and the guidelines that she put into place for her particular community. So it's very similar principles for the private equity and research firm. It's essentially, what is it that you do as a Black woman? Write about it. You're part of the community. If an individual is able to curate a written text in full about what it is they're passionate about from their experience as a Black woman for the efforts of helping others, it may sound simple, like, oh, just do this and you're in. The amount of time it takes, the concentration it takes, and the ability to communicate that, it takes a lot for a lot of people. So that's why the guidelines are there. This is not just some club that you can join. Of course, with the ministry, you invest however much money you decide to invest because there's different tiers. At the same time, the private equity firm is free to join, but there's a labor cost to it. How are you expressing your passion? How are you inviting your ideas into the psyche of young Black girls? That eventually spreads to everyone because we are the source of inspiration. Because we are the source of inspiration, what we do with each other, everyone else feels it. Everyone becomes aware of it. That's why that's the guideline and the barrier to entry. Okay, so back to the waters. I actually happen to be on the chapter 6, leadership. So before I get to the waters, I'll read this part. I haven't read the chapter yet. The way in which a community is managed and who leads its ethical, moral, and logistical direction are critical to its very existence. I'm going to be upfront with you by saying, as the leader of Goddess Council, GC, I did not know what the hell I was doing, As you now know, I basically stumbled into architecting this epic, unforgettable, one-of-a-kind community. So I was making critical foundational decisions while leading based on intuition, not necessarily strategy. Now, do I think I was a bad leader? No. Could I have done a better job if I had already possessed certain skill sets and had a support system? Absolutely. Realistically speaking, all leaders have room to improve. There is a never-ending amount of information about people, society, and how to actually connect and love that should be integrated into leadership practices. In a perfect world, global leadership would be heart-centered and embody the kind of guiding energy that ushers folks into a reality where the best elements of human creativity, collaboration, and connectedness can thrive, where those ensuring that the community thrives have a deep vested interest in trying to make it function smoothly. And that's facts. That's all it is. So let's take it to the waters real quick. This blog If you would like to read it in full, it's called Holistic Living in the Current Age of Enlightenment and Educational Infrastructural Innovation. So you go to the blog's website, marineflowblog.com. You can find the link in the description box it'll take you to the sign up, but you can also go to the regular website. Part of this blog has an excerpt from one of my essays called Compost and Waste Transmutation and Alchemy Training, Turning One Man's Trash into Underwater Kingdom Treasure. Pirate gardeners of this generation. What the heck is a pirate gardener? Pirates are known for far sea exploration, while gardeners are known to grow crops and generate compost. So what in the heck do they have in common? Another man's trash is another man's treasure is exactly what they have in common. Pirates utilize their strong will and exploration skills to find lost treasures in other lands, while gardeners utilize science to turn trash, food trash, and decomposable resources into soil for more food. So that's alchemy, that's transmutation, and that's ways to take the issues that we have as this world, the pollution essentially, and using that to metamorphosize into something that's useful. So that's why the basis of everything we're doing is clean energy, waste management, pollution, reducing, reusing, recycling materials, so that we're not going out and creating another problem by getting our hands into something else. It's taking the trash and cleaning that up. It may not look like creation to a lot of people, but that's alchemy. It's a different form of creation. It's creation from the basis of taking what was already created and discarded of, using that, and intentionally using those materials to help better society. So here, you can get this ebook on my page in the description area. This is hashtag New Age Investing, exploring traditional investments and their technological advancements in Web3 while you stay in spiritual alignment. So usually I do a random turn in this book, but let me see if there's anything specific. Okay, aqua travel, aqua vehicles. Okay, let's go to aqua vehicles. Aqua vehicles, as higher vibrational beings appear in beachfront and waterfront properties more often, we must observe water transportation in a more efficient and concrete way. Discover the traditional along with innovative modes of aqua transportation. What did the ancients use to travel through water? What new eco-friendly vehicles are being developed and invented? As we transition into this integrated lifestyle with the marine kingdom, we recognize our need to educate and develop ourselves for this way of life. Cleaning litter on beaches and river shores are our form of social justice. Let me see that again. Cleaning litter on beaches and river shores are our form of social justice. By performing this activity, the aqua community will reveal spiritual truths, insights, and enlightenment to us in a deeper way. Okay? So that's why this ebook is really, really important. Like I said, all the stuff that's coming out now, I've already said it a very, very long time ago, and I have it written down for people to be able to utilize in your actual daily life. I'm not just saying some spiritual woo-woo stuff that you can't apply to your daily life. If you wanted to go get a job in an industry that I mentioned just within here, you'll be able to assist in the mission while also producing income and currency for yourself. Okay? I'm going to mix this up a little bit just to change the vibration of how this was written originally. While in more dry environments, continue talking to trees and small plants. The druids have awakened. They speak to those who listen and desire to unlock the codes of the multiverse. They guide the way to proper movement to higher vibrational locations. They guide the way to proper movement to higher vibrational locations. Okay. Your purpose in this shift is more connected to your relationship with nature rather than humanoid beings. The downloads and uploads will reveal your role in a more clear and detailed way. While cleaning these scenes and environments, have conversations and discuss the next steps of the grand mission with the water spirits and animals. Okay? So let's do a random turn. Roast and Rage said, "Peace, goddess. Hope all is well. Glowing as always. Gem Dropper. Much gratitude. Yes, everything is great. How about yourself?" All right. Random. We have Mystic Philanthropist. The billionaires and multimillionaires of our time tend to be givers and philanthropists to various causes. As mystics and spiritual beings, we serve projects and organizations that provide a higher vibrational life for the divine collective. Recycling, refurbishing, restoring, and clean energy projects are a top priority, as these philanthropic activities assist the planet in general. Donating to farms, gardens, and organic projects improves the health of the divine collective. Our homes provide a high vibrational environment for us to meditate in the results of the fruits of our labor. We practice gratitude for our abundance and prosperity with giving, tithing, our resources, time, and energy to those who cherish and value them. Gratitude and appreciation to the highest vibrational beings for your role in the divine mission. Okay, so like I said, you can get this ebook on my website. It is directly linked in my description area. Okay, and now this book, you have to physically order a copy. This is Bird Dog Real Estate. Everyone could and should own real estate. And I'm going to go to this particular chapter here. Where is that? Where is that? Here we go. This is spiritual investments. So this alternative form of thinking provides access to more ways of creating life. As the matrix crumbles and we are able to see the glitches, loopholes, and wormholes that grant majestic access to hidden lifestyles. Okay. The matrix programs the specific steps, blockages, and boundaries are wiped away by angelic forces to grant divine access to forbidden information. Mystic mages and other divine beings are able to utilize their powers, gifts, and talents in a literal and material way within the matrix without utilizing lower vibrational tactics. By operating in high frequency mindsets, high vibrational beings alchemize divine gifts for their livelihood. So again, alchemy. Manifesting resources, education, and information occurs with ease and simplicity, while simultaneously serving the general collective. Divine beings are able to serve wealthy clientele and operate in realms of high finance. This ability frees their time to operate their role in the divine mission while maintaining stability in the matrix. So that goes back to mystic philanthropists. It's imperative to inform oneself of higher self-knowledge and wisdom in order to align closer to that state of existence. Fortune and abundance in gifts and abilities requires concentration and patience within self. Being a student in a field both spiritually and mentally then ascends one to teaching and mentoring after mastery. As light workers, we conquer the matrix and share information for others to do the same. We reveal ways out of the norm thinking and living. This includes prosperity and ways of providing income, right? Currency. This state of divine flow, water, requires trust in the ethers and belief in the manifestation mantras that one utilizes. Our traditions and practices are guided by our desire to serve the divine mission for the divine collective. Individual lifestyles manifest in stable forms as a result of using our gifts for the greatest purpose. So it's a lot. This is available on my website too. So you just go to my real estate website and it's on the homepage. But y'all, this is a lot. There's a reason that they're saying aliens are in the ocean. Because they're running out of money. And they're changing the money system. Now, I was debating on whether or not I was going to talk about this, but it is relevant because this is my other ebook. That's why I prefaced in the beginning of the stream. We're going through a lot in this particular stream with all the resources. So This ebook is called BDRE, Blockchain Derivatives Real Estate, Blockchain Investing with Derivatives Backed by Real Estate, and How to Get Started. So, blockchain, that is a peer-to-peer internet. Internet is managed and governed by subsea fiber optic cables. Those are giant cords that are on the ocean floor. They're big cords that run from continent to continent, country to country, providing internet access for all the citizens of the land. And that word citizen is also very important. A citizen is a slave, and they don't know that they are a slave. So by being part of a society, not knowing your status is highly detrimental. And we have to learn these things. We have to actually implement these things in order to gain governance and a say in what happens within society. Okay. So let's talk about derivative smart contracts. Okay, derivative smart contracts. Summary: derivative, a contract whose value is based on or derived from something else, the underlying asset. Can be used to hedge risk or for speculation. The four types are forwards, futures, options, and swaps. Those are the four main types of derivatives. Blockchain distributed ledger technology advances every day in every field. Innovation in financial fields is vital, as this is our new money currency system. Currency. What are we currently seeing? Blockchain everywhere. That confirmation that we had in our tarot reading was based on a blockchain CEO and founder. Industries such as derivative trading, and he was trading, and betting and gambling and investing greatly benefit from simplification via blockchain technology and smart contracts. And that's the technology he was using in order to work his business. Smart contracts are programmable, therefore, utilizing them for transacting derivatives can be done through coding. By coding smart contracts for derivative transactions, trades and investments can occur in a more automated fashion. Studying and analyzing certain companies within chosen industries develops wise perception for profitable derivative trades and investments. Okay, so like I said, for my business, it is real estate based, so I do base things off of what real estate professionals can do. However, it does apply to every industry. Every industry is getting into this. I highly would suggest, if you're going to go get a job in any field, do it in tech, do it in any sort of high finance, high professional industry, so that you have the money and you know what's going on behind the scenes. Because if you get a regular job with something that there's nothing wrong with having a trade, but if you get a job in somewhere where you have to use your hands, you have to do something that's physical, and it takes up most of your time and you're not learning anything, then you're not going to know what's happening behind the scenes. And that's when the mass layoffs happen and people don't know what's going on. As real estate professionals, specializing in real estate derivatives or property derivatives makes the most sense. Comprehending the concept of real estate investment trusts, REITs, and utilizing that knowledge for derivative blockchain distributed ledger technology makes property ownership and trading easier through smart contracts. In the ebook NFTs and Real Estate, available on the BDRE website and the app, the ideology of property tokenization is grounded into realistic scenarios. Becoming specialized and knowledgeable in property derivative blockchain distributed ledger technology integrates these traditional industries with smart contracts. Knowledge, wisdom, and expertise are best to seek from professionals in the industry. Derivative trading, like I'm listing the industries that are of great interest, okay? So like I said, if you're going to go get a job and if you're going to have a traditional career in any field, I highly suggest these. I'll reiterate, knowledge, wisdom, and expertise are best to seek from professionals in the industries. Oh my gosh, my bad. Knowledge, wisdom, and expertise are best to seek from professionals in the industries: derivative trading and investing, real estate investment trusts, and law and legal services in these fields. So find lawyers, find attorneys who work with the individuals who are in derivative trading and investing and real estate investment trusts. By studying from those in these career fields, information is learned about how these industries operate. Regulations and SEC standards are also realized through this process. And then there's some information that was provided from some lawyers. You can find these folks on things like LinkedIn. They have blogs. They, of course, you can visit their offices and you can have conversations with them if they don't charge for consultation or certain types of consultation. Of course, if they charge for consultation, pay their consultation fee. It is worth it. Like I said, they do have their platforms. Some of them are on YouTube. Some of them are probably on different platforms. You know, the whole thing with X and Twitter. But a lot of them are on there. Blockchain people especially are on X. It's best to get on someone's newsletter or email list so you can get the information that they're not posting on social media, okay? And following their blogs. This is what the aliens in the ocean want you to know, okay? This is how the world has been operating and being run for such a long time, and we need to know this information. If you're new to my channel, go binge watch everything on my channel. Now, does that sound selfish on my end? Probably, but the information is there for a reason. We can't just keep walking around as spiritual and woke people and look pretty with all of our garments and jewelry on. We have to take our place of importance and be a guiding light for those who have no idea what's going on. People have no idea what's going on. So it's time for us to be more responsible in our places of leadership. I can't claim the name Sovereign Empress and not act as if I am not leading a nation. Like, I have to be in position to lead a nation of some sort. Most people will lead the nation of their families, being that matriarch and or patriarch of their family in order to lead those that either descend from them or those who surround them, those who are within their age groups, and assist them in providing the resources necessary. If you and a group of cousins get together and form a family trust, whether it's a family business or y'all buy investments together, and then that pool of funds is used for everyone's life insurance policy, that's leading a nation. Okay? It's paperwork. It's boring initially, but then this stuff becomes more interesting because that's where you're filling your psyche with. That's what you're filling your consciousness with. Once you fill your consciousness with information like this, it becomes an ease, it becomes a flow, it becomes a way of life versus something that you have to put yourself into. Once you put yourself in, it's like jumping in the water. Once you get in the water, you in the water. You're in the water now. Start swimming or float on top. Either way, enjoy the water. Don't resist the water, because what happens when you resist the water? You drown. I had mentioned this analogy before where I was talking to my husband and it was like, it was funny, but it makes so much sense. Where his business partner was like, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And then my husband goes, push him in the water, that'll satisfy his thirst. That'll quench his thirst. And then we were both like, well, what if the horse drowns? And he was just kind of like, the horse wanted the water. Drink the water. Float in the water, swim in the water that you asked for. Are the aliens going to help us pay our bills? Yes! You have to figure out how that works. You got to meditate and get into the state of communicating with the aliens, these spiritual entities. Okay? Oh my gosh. It's just a lot. It's so much. But I am going to go. Like I said, all this information will be in the description box. I will link the Goddess Council live stream where I was reading that chapter or part of that chapter. I don't remember if I read the entire thing or just part of that chapter with you all. So ladies, you will have a better idea of what it is we are doing within Marine Liquidity, Fiduciary Flow, Private Equity, and Research. I am leaving social media, so if you join the research firm, of course, you will have unlimited access to me so that we can communicate. However, we need that work, sis. Like, I don't use sis at all, but we need that work. Whatever your life experience is, put it into words, into essay form. And we can share that with the world. That is what it is we're doing. Okay? Alrighty then. Shalom, Rainicorns. I will see you in the next one. Thawara. And that means thank you in Hebrew.